Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is True Hill Heat. And I said it right, you motherfuckers.
All right, ready when you are.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have true heel heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls.
I'll get it.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube, as well as the True Hill Heat Facebook and Twitter page for our The Penguin review. Can't even say season 1 because it's a mini series. The Penguin review discussing one of the best shows of 2023 or 2024. And all the dates and years wrong, but yes, we are here live on the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment channel for another review, this time talking about HBO's The Penguin. And of course, to do that, I am joined by the beautiful, the lovely Miss Krssi Love. How are you doing?
What's happening, peeps? What's going on? Yes, this is one of the best mini-series or series for 2024. Goes with a list of other shows. I did not realize until I saw the credits and maybe like the latest Batman, that he was in the latest Batman as the Penguin. Yeah. I didn't realize the two, and I was like, he's in the same full getup. He's the same person, all of the above, and then they give him his own show, which is like pretty cool as well.
Pretty dope stuff for sure. I honestly, after watching this series, I was like, man, give those people at HBO the license to do freaking mini series on all the Batman Rogue Gallery. I want to see one on Catwoman because of her connection to the Falcone family. Right. I want to see one on the Joker. I want to see one on the Riddler. The Riddler, since he was the villain in the first Batman film. So yeah, there's a lot for them to go to coming off the heels of this show. But what a show it was! What a 8 episode stretch it was for HBO. We appreciate y'all if you were joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You could share this video with all your your entertainment friends, fans, and family all across the social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on the Penguin. If you're watching us on demand, you can let us know in the comments down below and start the conversation there. Give us your thoughts on the Penguin, your MVP, LVP, best episode of the season. Who was your favorite character? Let us know all those things in the live chat and in the comment section below. We got Nicky Boy, the Negro Buck Nick Jackson, who says, "Sup THH gang." He also says, "The Reeves verse is off to a roaring start. Can't wait for the Batman Part 2. And he also says, "I still want that canceled Arkham series." No, I mean, I think everyone would want a canceled Arkham series after seeing Arkham in this show. Them Arkham fools is wilding out in these streets.
Even like what was the series Gotham? Like they showed like Arkham, but this series showed Arkham on like a whole different level.
Cruel and cruel and unusual punishment. It is in Arkham Asylum over there. We got Nicky Boy who says, "I would die for Sofia Gigante." I mean, that's what most people. I think most people have told me their favorite character is either the main character, Oz Cobb, or Oswald Cobblepot, and the Penguin, or it's Sofia Gigante. Who is your favorite character from the show?
It's a toss between Sophia and Vic for me.
Okay. Why Vic?
Vic was like one of those supporting actors that always, like, no matter what he was faced or dealt with, he overcame it and he stayed loyal to a T. And I hate what happened to him.
I mean, I knew the whole time. Who didn't know? If y'all were watching this show and y'all didn't see the sweet, kind, genuine Vic, who was being poisoned by his toxic relationship with his toxic stepfather that was the Penguin. If y'all didn't see that ending coming, then y'all don't know who the hell Cobb is.
Then why didn't he just let him leave when he was trying to leave with his girl?
No, he still needed him. He don't need him now.
I was pissed. I was tight.
He still needed him at that time.
I was like, yo, this man held you down. He took care of your sick mama that you just I was a fuck boy. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He's a piece of shit.
To be fair, Oz don't care about his mama either.
He never, ever. And that as we go through the series, you'll find that out too.
Yes. But yes, let us know. Let us know your favorite characters, your favorite episode, and everything in between as we go through it. We'll do this a little differently than we've done the last couple of reviews. We'll kind of go through the episode, short kind of recap of each episode and what we thought before giving our overall thoughts on the series and the characters. So episode 1, Krssi Love, was After Hours. This was our introduction to the Penguin, and it basically, timeline wise, comes right after the events of the 2022 Penguin movie. So it'd be basically right after that. I believe it's
the Batman movie.
Excuse me, I'm saying the Penguin movie. The Batman movie, the 2022
the Penguin movie, though. But
I wouldn't be mad at all. I wouldn't be mad.
So this whole series could have been a movie.
Yeah, because all it is it's a movie broken up. It's like 2 movies broken up into 8 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 2022 Batman movie, timeline wise, I believe it's in 2023. 2023 world, because it's coming off of the heels of what happened in the Batman film. So we see Oz, who's basically trying to go ahead and rob Carmine Falcone's son, Alberto. He basically is caught by Alberto, and him and Alberto, he talks his way out of trouble, which would become a theme of Oz on this show. He talks his way out of trouble. Him and Alberto share a drink, and Alberto kind of talking about all the pressure that he has now because now he's going to be the crime boss because of the murder of Carmine Falcone at the hands of the Riddler in the Batman film. And Alberto is basically taking over the drug empire. But he asks, Oz for some advice, and Oz tells him a story and gives his motivation, basically talking about his hero growing up, Rex Calabrini, I think his name is, and he says, in my neighborhood, they throw a parade in his honor, a freaking parade. It wasn't fancy, but it was a gesture of a show of love of what he meant, because Rex was the type of gangster that took care of the whole neighborhood, and that's who Oz aspires to be. We got his motivation and everything, but then we also got another piece of his personality. He is very impulsive. Impulsive is the right word to say it, because Alberto laughs at him for this, this inspiration, this motivation that he has to become a loved gangster. He laughs at him, so Oz decides to shoot him, and immediately after laughing a bit, he says "fuck" because he's fucked, because he has a limp, he has a disformed foot, and he has to now carry a body out. But then when he goes to go check on his car to get his trunk ready to put the body in the trunk, he sees these kids that are robbing him, trying to steal his rims, and he catches one of them, and their name is Victor Aguilera. He becomes a potential recruit. He drives for Oz because of Oz's foot. They basically get rid of the body. They dump it at like this car depot. They wait till the sun comes up so they can get rid of the body. And then Oz looks like he's about to kill Vic, but he decides not to, because there's another part of the plan that he wants Vic to do. So we don't hear what the plan is, but eventually Oz goes to the Carmine mansion, and he talks to the underbosses who are now in charge of the drops. The drops is the main form of like drugs out there. And Oz says that he has something new because he found in Alberto's calendar in his phone that there's a big shipment coming. A big shipment that he was gonna be a part of. Now the Penguin is talking about it, and that it's gonna be this new revolutionary drug. And Sofia Falcone, the daughter of Carmine, overhears all of this. Overhears her former driver, the Penguin, has moved up in the world, so she goes out to lunch with him. They have a very tense lunch, where it was like the Penguin was kind of nervous to be around Sofia.
We didn't know why. You didn't know why.
We didn't know why. All we knew is that she just came out of Arkham Asylum. Eventually, they catch the Penguin, basically going to the drug shipment to pick up the shipment. They go and run after him, go after him, all her men and stuff like that. They knock him out, and then they kidnap him. They bring him back to the Carmine mansion, the Falcone mansion, and they basically are interrogating him. They catch one of the boys that were stealing his rims, and they talk about because Sofia had saw the bullet hole in the car, and the kid was like, oh, he was moving a body or whatever. He was at the club that night, and he was like, you're gonna believe him over me? And he got the kid fucking killed. Didn't even think twice about it.
Not even nope. It's you and me. It's gonna be
before Sofia could kill Oz. A car crashes into the Falcone mansion, in the front of the mansion, and in the trunk is Alberto with basically a little message, because earlier in the show, we saw Oz. He went to visit Sal Maroni. Maroni is the family that is like the main rival of the Falcone family for like the drug underworld of Gotham. And he basically gives him a gift, which is a ring that he got from Alberto when he killed him. And the ring was passed down from Carmine to Alberto. So he takes the ring and he gives it to Sal and tells Sal, you'll be needing this. Basically, he tries to make a deal with him to sell his drugs, the new revolutionary drug, because the underbosses for the Falcone family didn't want to listen to him. So he goes to the Maroni family. He works out a deal there, gives them the ring, and then he basically sets it up with the message because Vic was the one who crashes the car into the Falcone mansion, and they leave a sign basically saying that the Maronis are the one
The
that
one
killed
that
Alberto.
did it. Mm-hmm.
And we end that episode with Vic and Oz because they both grew up in Crown Point. They go back to Crown Point and they get a little like an icy or something like that. And it's a nice little ending to our first episode and the start of the developing brotherhoodship or mentorship of the Penguin with Vic. What did you think about the first episode, the introduction of all of our main players here?
It just kind of like sets the board of like who our key players are, who are the supporting ones, and how Oz will do anything to get out of anything, to get away. Like he's a shitty person, and he will do anything and will take anyone down as long as he's in the clear.
Yes. It really kind of gives you the whole genesis of what his character is going to be and how you're going to feel about him by the end of this whole thing.
Yep.
DeMarcus with a good comparison here. He says Sophia's a better version of Claudia from Force.
She is. She really is, though. That's a great comparison, because you wanted this from Claudia, but they didn't give that to you. So you got Sophia, and Sophia was like, a better villain, or crime mob person to run an organization.
And she was going to actually really work with the Tommy figure on her show, even though Claudia stupidly fucked all that shit up in season 1. We got in the chat Nikki Boy, he says shout out to the GOAT Clancy Brown, aka Eugene H. Krabs, aka he was great at Sal Maroni. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown is such a great actor.
He really
Seen
is.
so many different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get episode 2, which is Inside Man. The description reads about Sophia works to secure her family's strength, while Oz attempts to play both the Falcone and Maroni families to his advantage. So this is more of like a setup for everything, with Oz kind of playing the Falcone family against the Maroni family.
Yeah.
He's playing both sides. He's trying to get in the good graces of Sophia during this episode after what he called their misunderstanding. Their misunderstanding from the episode prior. We got a description here where it says the Maronis continue their partnership by allowing Oz to help with a Falcone drop shipment that is subsequently taken by Maroni's crew. Carmine's brother Luca arrives to head the family. Meanwhile, Francis is revealed to be suffering from dementia. We see a lot of scenes with like Vic with Francis Cobb, which is Oz's mother, after we're introduced to her in the first episode. Sophia suffers PTSD from Alberto's death and becomes increasingly unhinged and is convinced someone in the crew is a mole for Maroni.
Yep.
Which she was not wrong. She was not wrong.
Not at all. She you could say a lot of things about Sophia, but her intuitions and her feelings were definitely always 100% correct. And they always try to like pin that on her, and that was the sad part.
She bribes a retired GCPD detective, formerly on her father's payroll, to investigate the heist that happened on the Falcones, and the man kidnaps Yvonne, which is one of Maroni's henchmen. So basically, the second part of this whole thing, because we see Alberto's funeral during this episode as well. Then they basically, during the reception for the funeral, we had Oz finds out that one of Maroni's men are in the basement, kidnapped, and he's trying his best to get to him before they talk to him because he gonna snitch on him.
Yep.
It was hilarious. Maroni's wife, Nadia, assigns Oz to retrieve Avad before the Falcones get him to talk. During Alberto's funeral, Oz assigns Vic to plant evidence to frame Falcone underboss Johnny Vitti for Alberto's murder, while he reaches Avad to have him implicate Vitti. However, Vic is caught trying to plant the evidence and barely escapes. He calls Oz, lets him know So Oz has no choice but to murder Evid and with a switchblade and frame Sophia's enforcer, Castillo, as the mole by planting the weapon on him. Shout outs to Castillo, who is played by none other than freaking Lorenzo Tejada.
Yep.
Lorenzo Tejada being in the show popped me. All the people that I knew from other shows popped me in this show. And Lorenzo Tejada was probably the biggest pop.
Yep. Gang member number 3.
He actually got a name. It's Castillo. I didn't know that until I read this.
I had called him gang member number 3 in the back. Yeah.
Luca executes Castillo, denying Sofia's demand that she do it to avenge Alberto, and orders her out of the family business. Oz makes Vic dig a grave for Evad and Castillo, threatening to kill him if he fails him again. He then meets with Sofia, who proposes a partnership to wipe out the Falcone family hierarchy so she may take control. So I thought this was a nice little follow-up episode, putting everything in their right position, establishing like the hostile relationship that was Sofia and the rest of the Falcone family. We even got the teaser of her cousin, who was kind of very like hesitant around her, and then when she had her daughter near, she wanted to get the daughter as far away from Sofia. So this was more kind of planting the seeds for what would become the origin story of Sofia as well in this episode.
Yes, it gives everyone in the family thinks that something is really wrong with her, and you can see that they try to treat her very delicately, and she's like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. You guys like need to stop like doing that. Like I am fine. Like stop doing that. And till they push her to the edge, and that's when we see later why she snaps.
And she will definitely snap, people. Just get ready for it. Get ready for it. If you're not prepared, you should be. But then we get episode 3, which was Bliss. Oz and Sofia make moves as they attempt to take control of Gotham's drug trade. Victor is reunited with someone from his old life. So this one was part of flashback, part in the present time. This is a little bit less than what we would see in the following episode. But we start off the episode with the flashback where Vic is left orphaned after the seawall explosion drowns his family. Absolutely love. One of my favorite parts of this show is how they never made you forget that this is an extension of the Batman. And this episode was just like, what was the real kind of fallout, the consequences for what the Riddler did at the end? Yes, Batman was able to save the people, who were at the mayor celebration and save the mayor and, beat all the Riddler's main people, but he flooded the entire fucking Gotham City.
Yep.
So there had to be some ramification from that, some people that were sacrifices in that whole thing, and apparently Vic's family was it. We saw Vic meeting up with his girlfriend. Then he met up with his family. You really got to see kind of Vic's personality as well. Even before he even met Oz, he always saw his life as being more than what it was. And he wanted more for his father, what he was doing.
Yep.
Same with his sister. But he leaves his sister, his mom and dad at home. He goes with his friends on the rooftop across the street from their apartment to watch the fireworks for the mayor's celebration. And that's when the seawall explosion drowns his family. He tries to call his mom, but he has to watch as the water kind of floods out their house and kills them. In the present, so Sofia introduced... What happened?
He would have been in the house too.
If he didn't beg his dad to go look at the fireworks, he would have been dead too.
Yep.
And that's why he should have took his sister. His sister wanted to go.
His sister wanted to go. Yep. And he watched that whole thing go down from the rooftop. Just crazy. I felt really bad. I was like, no.
I was like, yeah. Now I understand why he's a little bit fidget. He's a little bit fidget. I know he's got the stutter, but he's also a little bit fidgety. And you can understand when you got that much PTSD and trauma.
Correct. And it wasn't treated.
In the present timeline, we get Sofia, who introduces Oz to a new drug that was used on her and the other inmates at Arkham, and Oz calls it bliss. It's basically mushrooms with this special kind of blood on it, and it gives you kind of this euphoric state whenever you take it. Together, they make a pitch to the triads to help distribute the bliss, but they refuse to do business with the pair unless they gain the support of Johnny Vitti. Oz and Sofia blackmail Vitti for his support by threatening to expose him having sex with Luca's wife. The triads then enter into business with Oz and Sofia once they get the approval of Vitti. Meanwhile, Vic is torn by his desire to leave Gotham with his girlfriend in pursuit of a better life, or staying with Oz to potentially become rich and powerful. Give you one hint on what he chose, and it was the wrong choice.
Should have just left. Well, the homeboy didn't give him no choice. Really, he forced his hand.
Hey, he let him go. He could have just left and not come back, but the manipulation was already done. Vic also fears that Oz will kill him if he tries to desert him. When Oz learns of Vic's intentions, he admits he genuinely respects him and allows him to leave. Vic chooses Oz over his own girlfriend and returns, only to find Oz and Sofia held by the Maronis, who have realized Oz's duplicity and inform Sofia that Oz is the one who killed her brother. Before a hitman can execute Oz and Sofia, Vic crashes Oz's car into one of the hitmen, and they escape, leaving Sofia abandoned to her fate with the Maronis. And I was wondering, when I was first watching this episode, I was like, why would he leave Sofia like that? They're supposed to be in business with each other. Yep. It wasn't until the very next episode where I was like,
Yep. And he stole the stuff. Yep. Yep.
I was like, oh, she knows about Alberta. Oh, okay, yeah, yep. I would leave her too. We got DeMarcus. He says Castillo, being Sofia's right-hand man and set up by Oz, was treacherous because Oz wanted Johnny Vitti to die. Yes, he wanted to set up Johnny Vitti. Like, they kept trying to set up Johnny Vitti, and like Johnny Vitti would escape certain death multiple times, only to just we'll tell you what happened. What did you think about Bliss episode 3?
Bliss was good. It shows like why, well, partially like why Sofia and Oz kind of like had the whole issues between each other, but it was trying to like work it out. She was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he was still trying to like, one up her. He was trying to be ahead of everyone, and that didn't play in his role for him. Well, this episode at least.
Yeah, I mean, Oz is always trying to get ahead of everybody.
And he's a quick thinker sometimes. So you're like, oh wait, what? You're clearly lying.
And Oz also has basically like a girlfriend who's really just a hooker, named Eve. And he has like weird fetishes that concern his mom with Eve, which we'll get into. We'll get into that. But Eve is the one, and her girls were the one helping Oz selling the bliss at the nightclub with Sofia before Vic goes to the train station to see his girlfriend get on the bus. At least his girlfriend is alive.
That would help look at his dad.
We got Nikki Boy. He says, not gonna lie, I would take bliss for scientific purposes. Yeah, I'm sure. Scientific. Very scientific. Next one was what many folks, many fans of The Penguin is calling the best episode of The Penguin, episode 4, Sen Eni. This in flashbacks we see well, first I'll read the regular description that they got here. So Sendeni is Sofia confronts her past in Arkham State Hospital and makes plans for her future. So this is a flashback, mainly a flashback.
This was 4?
So, yeah, episode 4. So in flashback, Sofia learns from we see her at like this what is this, like a foundation, basically a foundation ceremony to start off the show, because she had started basically a foundation after her mother committed suicide. But Sofia then learns from a reporter that Carmine Falcone, her father, is suspected of being the Hangman, a serial killer who strangles and hangs women. Her mother had died under the same circumstances when she was just a child. Interesting. Desperate for answers, Sofia meets with the reporter privately, but she is driven by her driver at the time. Remember, we said this earlier, Oz Cobb, the Penguin. Oz tries to warn Sofia, about meeting with reporters and that, and Sofia was slightly rude to him, which, as we also know, he's very impulsive, and he doesn't like to be talked down to or disrespected. And she did that by talking down to him, even though earlier in the episode she was defending him against Alberto, who was calling him the Penguin, and she was like, "Don't call him that." And then after the reporter got in her head, she was rude to Oz, and it was all downhill from there. Oz alerts Carmine, who retaliates by framing Sofia for the murders and having her committed to Arkham Asylum, horrifying Alberto and Oz. Though she is only to be confined for 6 months, Carmine extends her stay for an entire decade. This man, Carmine Falcone, is the real villain here. She is constantly mocked by the inmates, while her doctor, Ventress, subjects her to electroshock therapy. Ventress associate, Dr. Julian Rush. We saw Julian Rush earlier in episode 2 when she was having PTSD due to her brother's passing. Dr. Julian Rush eventually realizes that Sofia is innocent, and he quits Arkham Asylum. The mental and physical strain leads Sofia into a breakdown, and she murders her cell neighbor, Magpie.
The girl had it coming, though. I'm sorry.
In the present, Sofia is extracted to safety by Julian Rush after she calls him after the whole being stopped at gunpoint by the Maroney family. She calls him, and she recovers at his house. Having learned from Nadia that Oz murdered Alberto the night prior, Sofia decides she can trust nobody. That night, she goes in a fabulous green dress to the Falcone mansion where all of her family is at, and she decides that she does a great big monologue and speech talking all about how this family ain't shit. She says, "Tomorrow I'm starting a new life. For the first time, I have hope." And talking about how the Gigante family is just victims of the Falcone family. So she basically gets her younger cousin Gia. She spares her. She gets her out of her room. She brings her into the garden outside, and they sleep outside, while she decides to kill everyone else in the Falcone mansion by using carbon monoxide from the generator. And this includes Luca, but she also spares Johnny Vitti, because she opened his window, so the carbon monoxide didn't affect him. And she holds him at gunpoint and tells him that they're going to rebuild the Falcone family together.
Great episode.
I'll say it. Episode 4 is like in the top 2. It's in the top 2 best episodes. The flashback, it just made you go like, oh my God, Sofia is the babyface. Sofia is the protagonist. She's been screwed over. She's the
anti-hero.
She got betrayed by her own father, her driver. The only one who was ever there for her was her brother. And she finally gets out of Arkham Asylum for her brother to die. I was so happy when she killed all the Falcons.
Yep. I mean, when you sat there and you watched that, and then you was like, "Yo, this episode was from beginning to end amazing." All she was missing was a jump rope to just jump, in her house as she was alone. All villains need a jump rope, I feel like. after they kill everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but this was,
Absolutely.
I think, yeah, this is my one of my top episodes for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Cinema,
would
yes,
if I picked this one or the last two episodes, but those are the top three for me.
yeah,
Four, 7, and 8 are the top three for me.
yes.
Nikki Boy saying one thing I've learned from Luke Cage, Sons of Anarchy, and now this show is to never trust a character played by Theo Rossi. I knew Theo Rossi as soon as I saw him in this show. I was like, oh my god, it's Shades, because that was his name in Luke Cage. That's how I remember. I was like, oh my god, it's Lorenzo Tejada. Oh my god, it's Shades. I was like, all right, I'm here. I was like, they got me. I'm here for this show. I was like, Clancy Brown is here. All right, I'm here. You got me.
Great person. Yep. Always mark out
Great
for them.
lineup.
Yep.
Great lineup already. Cinema indeed.
Yeah,
Nikki Boy
Theo Rossi
saying,
is a good actor for sure. Like anything he plays is just like great.
yeah, and he's always a villain. Always a
Oh,
villain. Anytime I
he
see him.
is though. He really is though. But is it his fault though? He plays it very well.
No, can't really blame him that much, you know. We got Nikki Boy. He says Kristen Maloney deserves all the awards. If she is not at least nominated for a Best Supporting Actress
For
Emmy,
Sophia?
yeah,
Also,
or I don't know if she would be considered Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress. Either
yeah,
or.
I think she should be
deserves
at best actress for sure. If not, I'll take the supporting. But even like low key, like something about her, like it was just like she's a villain, but she's a babyface, but she's hot though. She was like sexy. Then she had like the crazy mullet that even made it even crazy in the makeup. It was like beautiful. Whoever did that, you deserve an award too.
You deserve a reward too. You deserve all the awards. Absolutely. Yeah, that this at this point of the show, I was like,
Yeah, she's my
yeah,
favorite.
Sophia might be my favorite character.
Yep. I was locked in. I was like, I want her to win. I want her to get everything that she deserves. Because they all fucked her over, the whole family. All of them were men, and it's because she was a woman.
I was like, she should be the winner in the end of this, but I know she's not. That was my issue. I was like, I know she's not. Because it's not the Sofia Falcone show or the Sofia Gigante show. It's the Penguin. It's the Penguin. We got DeMarcus who asking us, who was y'all favorite actor or favorite character in the Penguin? It depends. I would say after every episode, it was either between Oz or Sophia. After episode 4 is Sophia.
Sophia, Vic, Oz.
Yeah, those are the main characters, really. We also got Nikki Boy who says CM Punk also loves Sofia Gigante. We got DeMarcus who says Frances deserves an award for her dementia too. Yo, Frances. That's what I said. I was like, I can't give for the overall honor of best episode because like the addition and the whole complex weird fucking relationship between Frances and Oz that was highlighted in episode 7 and 8 that made those my favorite. Another like my favorite 2 episodes.
Those are my other yeah. That's when you really knew something was real. Okay, let's run through this real fast.
We'll get episode 5, which is Homecoming. The description reads for that one: with his nascent operation at stake, Oz makes a desperate move to turn the tables. Meanwhile, Sophia strives to build a new legacy for herself. So this is the episode where Sophia makes the official change from Sofia Falcone to Sofia Gigante. Oz and his crew kidnap Maroni's son after Oz's little run-in with Nadia Maroni. He kidnaps the son Taj as ransom in exchange for the Bliss shipment stolen by Nadia in episode 3. At the same time, Oz has Vic look after Frances. During the trade, a guard bribed by Oz tries to assassinate Maroni in Blackgate, while Oz kills Taj and Nadia by setting them both on fire. Oh my God, what a scene that was.
What a scene.
What a scene. Because I knew it was all wet. I was like, got gasoline on
oh my God, what is he about to do? What is this maniac about to do? And he sets them both on fire. And that weird look of euphoria and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
orgasmic state that Oz is in, that was too much. At the the fire activates chemical extinguishing sprays and destroys most of the bliss shipment that Oz was trying to get
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
While Maroni survives the attempt on his life and escapes prison. Meanwhile, Gia is sent to a children's home, and Sophia tortures Vidi until he decides to support her bid to be the family head.
Yep.
Joined by Dr. Julian Rush, who has fallen in love with her, Sophia rebrands the family under her mother's name and earns their loyalty by arguing how they were similarly mistreated and neglected under Carmine's rule.
Yep.
When Vidi objects to her plan, Sophia executes him, shoots him right in the fucking head, and then she and a grieving Maroni later form an alliance to kill Oz. Elsewhere, Oz is in a panic upon learning of Maroni's escape, losing the support of his lover, Eve, while his mother berates him for forcing her to hide in a condemned apartment after
That's
Vic
treason.
has to find Vic has to find an apartment in Crown Point that has been destroyed after the Riddler's flood, and they stayed there, Francis and Vic, until Oz comes. Oz remembers an abandoned underground railway, showing it to Vic and declaring it their new base of operations to regrow the bliss. And my oh my, I gotta go back and watch all these episodes because
Yeah.
them finding that is gonna hit even more after watching the whole series, because it's like, oh, how did Oz
do you know about
this place? What did you think about Homecoming episode 5, his return to Crown Point?
I was like, yo, these are the cold-blooded people. You gonna go and burn these people like that? Like, it was like,
Yo, for real. And just how like he looks so demented. He's like, but this was another theme of episode 5, which is like the theme of the series for Oz until the end. He can never get a full win. He always gets half wins.
Yeah.
He killed Nadia and Taj, but his bliss is destroyed.
Yeah.
Like he never gets full win. He kills Alberto. He still has to deal with Sophia. He makes the deal with the Maronis, but he can't get the Falcone shipment clean. Like he never gets full wins in any of these episodes.
Right.
And DeMarcus saying Vic and Francis stayed in Calvin's apartment. Yeah, that was Vic's friend from Crown Point. They stayed in his apartment. Episode 6 was the summit, Miss Krssi, Gold Summit, excuse me, the Gold Summit. Despite the enemy's attempts to back him into a corner, Oz continues to expand his reach within the city. Meanwhile, Victor has an unpleasant reunion with a familiar face from his past. So this is them kind of settled in Crown Point. Oz has managed to grow his entire empire significantly. So I believe that episode 6 is maybe like a month or so after episode 5, based on how everything kind of developed here. He's reproducing and distributing the bliss in the underground trolley. Sophia and the Maronis kill several bliss dealers as a warning, leading Oz to decide to give away bliss for free to raise demand across all other gang territories. Vic is confronted by Squid, a drug dealer from his neighborhood, who asks Vic to let him join the operation. Vic attempts to pay him off to keep him away for a while, but when Squid threatens to expose Vic and Oz unless he gets a meeting with Oz, Vic acts like he's gonna take him to the meeting and then shoots him right in the fucking neck. And then he's like, oh, no, please. No, please. And then he flees without getting his goddamn money. What are we doing?
That's one of the weaknesses.
Pick up the money, Vic.
Yeah. That's one of the weaknesses Oz was talking about.
Goddamn weakness. Francis's condition is deteriorating further, and she has Oz promise her to kill her if she becomes severely ill. Remember that. And Oz agrees.
course.
Oz threatens a corrupt councilman who just happens to be Billy Walsh from Entourage,
Yep.
which popped me. That popped me so much. To restore
All the guest people
electricity.
that was in this was really good. Like, makes a great series.
To electricity to Crown Point and sets a meeting with the heads of the other gangs who he convinces to work together against the Gigantes, Maronis, and the upper elite.
Mhm.
Sophia and Sal break into Oz's apartment to find leverage against him. Sophia discovers a photo of Eve. So Sophia goes and asks some of Eve's friend where she could find her. And then Eve has one of her girls tell her where to find Sophia, tell her where her apartment is at. She threatens to kill her to get to Oz, but Eve gives up his location after Sophia reveals that Oz was aware of the true identity of the hangman and knew that it wasn't Sophia, but still worked against her to help Carmine. Francis and Vic dance to music after power is restored to Crown Point, and we end the episode with Sophia entering the apartment with a crowbar. Any thoughts on episode 6 here?
I wanted Sophia to get revenge. I wanted her to win. But I was like, now we know like what Oz was talking about with Vic. Like, you did a stupid move. Like, you needed to kill him, but you also needed to like make sure you get everything else that was there, like your money and like other things like that. So
yeah, this was I thought episode 6 was a nice setup episode for what would be the two episodes to end the season. So
correct.
Episode 7 was another flashback to start things off, and boy, oh boy, I loved episode 4. I love the flashback to Sophia and Arkham. But this flashback was just like, wow, oh my God, because throughout the season, they had been talking about that Oz was not an only child, that he had 2 older brothers. And Vic was even talking to Francis, pretending like they were still alive. And Oz got very upset with him because of that. And we would learn why in this episode. Episode 7, Top Hat. Top Hat, episode 7, the description reads, Oz strives to protect his family and his enterprise. Sophia uncovers a shocking truth. So as a child, Oz is resentful for the attention that his mother gives to his brothers, Jack and Benny. After a game of hide and seek, Oz leaves his brothers trapped inside an overflowing sewer tunnel where they drown. And he basically just sits at home with his mom watching a movie, just all happy. In the present, Oz returns to his apartment and finds an injured Vic, who reveals that Sophia has kidnapped Francis. Vic escapes right before Maroni arrives with his men. Maroni beats Oz and has Oz take him to his underground lair. Oz and his men stage an ambush, and Maroni dies of an heart attack while he's fucking up Oz. Hilarious. And then Oz has to yell at him like, I won! Meanwhile, Sophia has Julian Rush interrogate Francis about Oz's weaknesses and visits Gia after learning she intends to cooperate with the police. Disillusioned after seeing the pain she has caused Gia, Sophia considers accepting Oz's ultimatum to trade Francis for his bliss supply, but Rush convinces her to go through with her desire to see Oz suffer. During the trade, Sophia sends in a bomb that destroys Oz's base and kills his entire crew, but Oz has enough time to not say anything to his crew, but run down the sewer where his brothers died to protect himself. He survives and resurfaces, only to be knocked out by the detective Sophia bribed to kidnap Yvette. That episode 7 might be my favorite. It might be my favorite. I love that episode. Just the whole bomb and Oz escaping and not looking out for anyone, and Sophia always being one step ahead of him. That was great.
And it's like, you really let your brother, you sat there and she's just like, oh, what, it's raining outside, like you don't see them, and you just sat there with your mom. Ma, what you want? Ma, you want something to eat? Let me give you this, Ma. Fuck boy. I was like, nah, I know why Oz, he's a real fuck boy. That episode proved to me like he was a true fuck boy. I knew he was, but that right there, you let your own brothers die.
Yep.
And now you knew where he found that damn boat, because you was down there where you lock your dead brothers. Fuck boy.
So the end of that episode, we see Sophia taking Francis and her men into this place where apparently Oz and his mom went a couple of days after he killed his brothers.
Mhm.
So episode 8, it's a great or little thing. Truths are laid here as Oz nears the end of his journey and his power struggle with Sophia come to an head. So using EMDR therapy, Rush learns that Francis already knew about Oz drowning his brothers and tried to have him killed, but could not bring herself to do it. Oz is brought to Sophia, who makes Francis confess the truth. Oz refuses to admit his actions, even going as far as to say, you're sick, you're delusional, you're delusional. Even as Rush tortures Francis and attempts to cut her finger off, causing her to disown him before she suffers a stroke. Oz somehow escapes. He's acting like John Wick out here, using the guy to block and shooting and escaping with his fucking limp. He kills
how you
the
run that? How you get out that fast? You can barely walk. You got a club foot. Man.
He kills the detective, brings Francis to the hospital. Meanwhile, the local bosses abandon Oz for Sophia, who puts out a bounty for Oz as she prepares to leave Gotham. Vic arranges for the bosses to be murdered by their deputies after he gives them a big speech, and one of the deputies punches him in the stomach and tells him you have to learn when to say stuff like that. And they help Oz abduct Sophia. Instead of killing Sophia, though, Oz has his police contacts return her to Arkham. Oz and Vic visit Francis to celebrate, only to learn she has been entered into a vegetative state, causing Oz to break down. Later that night, Vic tells Oz that he views him as family, which is the worst thing he could have possibly told Oz. So he reciprocates by killing him, murdering Vic, choking him to death, suffocating him, saying that family makes people weak. Meanwhile, Rush, who has returned to Arkham to care for Sophia, hands her a letter from her half-sister, Selina Kyle, a.k.a. Catwoman. Oz takes the vegetative Francis to a new penthouse suite, not going back on his promise to her that he would kill her if she ever got to this state, but instead keeps her alive, where he dances with Eve, dressed as Francis, as the bat signal shines in the sky to close the series.
What a series.
Any
what an episode. Wow.
Thoughts on episode 8 and overall thoughts on the series, and your final thoughts is your best episode, best character before we sign things off.
Best character, Sophia, by far. Episode, I would have to go with 7, then 4, then the last one. Those are my top.
That's fair. My favorite character is Oz. It's the Penguin, only because I knew he was gonna kill Vic the whole season. I knew it, but they did it in a way that made me hate him even more. So I'll give them that. I you know me, I always enjoy a great heel, and that's what.
I hence why I love Sophia. I feel like she's a good heel. Though she was our anti-hero. Like you wanted the bad guy to win, and she was one of the bad guys.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. As far as my favorite episode, I think I agree with your ranking. I think it's 7, then 4, then 8.
Yeah.
And then 1.
And then 1.
That would be the Mount Rushmore for me. Power Driver Finisher says episode 7 is his favorite.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And DeMarcus says, why didn't Vic grab Oz where Francis stabbed Oz when Oz choked out Vic? Maybe this would have saved Vic's life. Vic should have gone into survival mode. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think that he was just so caught off guard. He had nothing to respond to save his life.
He was just shocked and hurt. And then he was just like, yo, I just told you that, yo, you're my family and I love you and you're going to do this.
Yep. Krssi, anything you want to sign off on before you go? Oh, yeah. Thumbs in the middle for the Penguin. This is easy. Thumbs up across the board from both of us. Out of 10, what did you give the series?
9.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh. You don't do
10
that
out
at
of 10.
all, though,
I don't
Fred.
do that at all. 10
No,
out of 10.
never. That's a first one. We need to clip this clip right here. You just gave this a
10
10.
out of 10. The best TV show of 2024. MVP.
Woo!
Oz, LVP. I'm going to give it to Francis. Who you got?
MVP can be Francis. LVP, poor Vic.
That's fair. That's also fair. Or Sal Maroni.
Samurai. Yes.
Miss Krssi Love, I know you got to run, but let everybody know where they can follow you.
Hey guys, sorry I gotta run. I'm at work. But yes, you can follow me, Krssi Love _1, True Hill Krssi Love on Twitter or X, and then just my plain old name, Krssi, Crystal Mitch. Thanks, guys. SP, I'll see you on
your
Saturday.
meeting.
Yep.
I will see you. See you on Saturday. I will sign y'all off here and read a couple more of your comments before we end things off. We got the actor that they got to play young Oz was killing it. Like, he just looked like a fucking future gangster in every way. Just the way he would be like, "Hey Rex, hey Rex, good to see you." Oh man, I love that little actor. That little actor is a bastard, but I love him. We got Power Driver Finisher, who said his survival instinct was flight. He was being held down. True. Talking about Vic. Power Driver Finisher says thumbs up, 9.9. We got DeMarcus, who says the Penguin was a 10 out of 10. Totally agree with you there. Krssi gave it a 9 out of 10. So we're very high on this. Our average is 9.5 out of all of us. DeMarcus says episode 7 was my favorite. He says his favorite character was Sal Maroni. I liked Sal Maroni a lot. DeMarcus also says Oz will never know that Eve snitched on Oz to Sofia. That's the crazy part. When he did the whole dance with Eve at the end, I was like, this nigga don't know. She sold him out. She sold him out. And he will never know. He will never know. That's crazy. DeMarcus says, just for that, Eve, MVP. Hey, I agree with you. LeVay says he is the new good son. Oh man, poor Oz. LeVay says a 10 out of 10 for him. Yeah, reason I give it to Francis is because, Vic died, but he suffocated, but it's over. He don't have to live in pain. He don't have to live with Oz. He's done. It's over. It's finito. I think he's a good candidate to be LVP, but he's not as high. Francis has to live in a vegetative state with Oswald being like y'all just fucking her up. Y'all just nothing to live for. She has nothing to live for, and she has to live for Oswald Cobblepot, if you will. Nah. It's got to be Francis. Francis got to be the LVP for everybody. I'm sorry, for everybody. Sofia is a good candidate for MVP. I think that her acting was exceptional. Kristen Maloney in this one. I really enjoyed her, and I really enjoyed the arc for Sofia Falcone, Sofia Giganti. But I think Oz has to be the MVP. He's on top. He's in the penthouse. He's got everything he would have wanted. He's got his mom in the penthouse, seeing the whole entire city, while everything out in the city is looking all fucked up and beaten up. And then you got the Batman signal out there. Batman is watching, and he's coming to get this nigga in Batman 2. Power Driver Finisher says, you're right. Fate worse than death. Francis got a fate worse than death. Absolutely. Like, thank you. DeMarcus is on it. DeMarcus sees the knowledge here. Power Driver Finisher says, like, Vic died, but she got more than death. Yo, she's gonna eventually die, but she's not gonna die under her terms. Her terms was if she ever got severely ill, like having a stroke, being in a coma, basically, in a comatose state, a vegetative state. She wanted to die, and she asked her son to do that for her. Her son, who she let live after he killed our other sons, yet she has to just stay in this vegetative state and can't say a goddamn thing. That's worse than death. Worse than death. LeVay says the next villain Matt Reeves do is going to be super crazy. So I've seen this, and I've seen a couple of people say this. Let me know in the live chat. I'll keep this this going for like five minutes or so. Let me know in the live chat, or let me know if you're watching us on demand in the comments down below. Who do you think is going to be the Batman 2 villain? Because I think that it would be too easy for the Penguin to be the main villain in Batman 2. Like, you can further Penguin using whoever the other villain is, and Batman being distracted with that as a way to even get more power. We have to see the Penguin get more and more power before he is the main villain in like the Batman 3 or something like that. I think that where the Batman is at, you need someone. I think Hugo Strange is a good shout. Hugo Strange, because we got the Arkham kind of connection to it. Freeze. I've seen a couple of people say Freeze. I think the best one is Scarecrow. Scarecrow, because of the fear toxin and everything that Batman was dealing with in the Batman, the first Batman in 2022. All of his kind of like PTSD, not dealing with his parents' death, and still being very disgruntled and a little bit unhinged by all of that. If you get Scarecrow and he's got the fear toxin and he injects Batman with that, and that's all Batman can see, and it turns Batman and gives him a bad kind of reputation, coming off how we ended the first Batman with his reputation being in the heights of like everybody being like, oh, the Cape Coo skater helped him out. I think DeMarcus, I think Two-Face is another one that I would like to see a proper build for. I would love to see Harvey Dent in the Batman 2, but not be the main villain. I think that you pay it off where you introduce Harvey Dent, a nefarious, lawyer and district attorney who slowly but surely over time, by the end of the Batman 2, gets the toxin set in his face and he becomes Two-Face. And then you set up Two-Face, and maybe Two-Face and Penguin, who's running the entire Gotham, is the villains in the Batman 3. Or Batman, yeah, that could be the Batman 3. You do Two-Face and Penguin with maybe the Joker. I think the Joker is another one, even though we got the ending of the first Batman film with the Joker being in Arkham and everything like that. I think he's another one that you could say for a Batman 4. Like they have, with the success of this show, the success of the 2022 movie, all the different rogues gallery villains that Batman has, you have enough where you could do 3 more Batman films now. And you could do maybe Hugo Strange and the Scarecrow in the Batman 2 as the main villains. You do the Penguin is still a factor because he's still, running the crime families in Gotham. You do Sofia is still around and she's going to get involved and she's trying to take down the Penguin. And then you could really see her and Batman team up in Batman 3 to take down the Penguin. And you could also have Harvey Dent being introduced, and he slowly but surely throughout the Batman 2 becomes Two-Face. And then you have Two-Face and Penguin as the villain in Batman 3, and in Batman 4 is the Joker. But I think for Batman 2, I think Hugo Strange, Scarecrow, someone like that. Someone that we haven't gotten a lot of live action representation for, that needs to be the villain in the Batman 2. I think the reason why the Riddler was so effective is like in live action films, we had only seen Jim Carrey really do the Riddler. Out of all the live action films, because the Christopher Nolan Batman films did not do the Riddler. We only had the Riddler in the 1989 through Batman and Robin series. We only had the Riddler in there in Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Like that is why that kind of worked. Clayface is another one because you can find kind of comparisons or parallels from Clayface to Eve. Eve has to dress up and, she basically looked like Frances at the end of this episode 8. She looked straight up like Frances. She could be related to Clayface, and you can introduce Clayface in the Batman 2. Good shout for I believe it was Screen Crush. Screen Crush is a great YouTube channel if you want to see Easter eggs and stuff like that. And there is an Easter egg in Julian Rush's office. In his office where he is giving the therapy to Sophia, he has the glove of the Scarecrow and something that looks like the Scarecrow's mask. It's a great Easter egg, and maybe it's an Easter egg to tease the Scarecrow is going to be the villain in the Batman 2. Maybe Theo Rossi is the Scarecrow. Who knows? Maybe he changed his name and he's not really Dr. Julian Rush. He is actually Dr. Crane. I would love that. I would love that a lot. DeMarcus says Selena Gale and Sophia could unalive Link and Eve. Could see that. Could see that. Could see Selena Gale and Sophia team up with each other. And kind of take down things. That will kind of bring more of the villainous edge out of Catwoman that we really didn't see in the Batman as well. We got Power Driver Finisher who says, yeah, I noticed it wasn't Francis when I saw Jimmy's watch along. I thought it was in Oz's head. Yeah, that's how much Eve looked like Francis. You would have thought if you were just watching it the first time, you would have thought it. And yeah, I also watched Jimmy's reaction and review to it, and that's when I was like, oh my God, that's actually Eve. Jesus Christ, she looks so much like Francis. But there's a lot to talk about coming out of the Penguin. Maybe we'll do a part 2 where we kind of do maybe tier list of the characters going into the Batman 2, or we do something with ranking every episode. We gave you our favorites episodes, but maybe we could do something with the episodes. Maybe we could do something with the characters. Maybe we could do a whole Batman tier list. Let me know in the comments down below how you want to further this discussion, because there is a lot more for us to discuss from the Penguin, how the Penguin will be used in the Batman, who we think the Batman villain is going to be, what we think the Batman 2 storyline is going to be, what other miniseries can we get out of the Matt Reeves Batverse, the Reevesverse, if you will. What else can we get out of it, and what other miniseries can we do because of this excellent show that was the Penguin? Let me know in the comments down below what questions, what type of videos, what other content you want from us in regards to the Penguin. But I had a lot of fun talking with Miss Krssi Love, talking with all of you about the Penguin. Let's continue that conversation in the comments down below. We'll be back here on the True Hill Heat Sports and Entertainment channel very soon. We finally going to do the Bear. We did all the shows that were kind of more prevalent and more highly talked about. We did Bel Air. We've done Agatha All Along. We've done Power Book 2 Ghost. We've done the Penguin. And now we can finally circle back to the Bear. We still got to finish up talking about the Bear. Me and Miss Krssi Love will team up for that. Most likely next week or beginning of December. Probably leave it to you have 6 months to watch the Bear. We didn't give you that much time with the Penguin and Agatha All Along, but we'll give you time with the Bear, because we also want to do on this channel, we're going to be doing reviews for What If, which is coming up in December. We're also going to be doing Daredevil next year. Daredevil, me, True Jaw Josh have already been talking about that. Cobra Kai, season 6 part 2, because we did check out our season 6 part 1 review with me and the True Jaw Josh. So me and True Jaw Josh will team up for sure to do the Bear, to do Cobra Kai season 6 part 2. So we might do 2 show reviews next week. I'll make a time with Miss Krssi Love where me and her will do the Bear, and I'll make some time with the True Jaw Josh where me and him will do Cobra Kai season 6 part 2, because got a lot to discuss. Niggas is dying out here in these streets. Dying. Dead. But yes, we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot to get through, but hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified, guys. We're less than 300 subscribers, from 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit that before the end of the year. We're trying to hit 20K subscribers on our wrestling YouTube channel. So go over and subscribe over there. Check out all the great content we got over there, like the True Hill Heat flagship podcast. Check out the last 2 weeks if you haven't already. True Hill Heat 302 and 303 at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Today, Miss Krssi Love, myself, and the True Jaw Josh, we have another edition of the True Hill Heat Cuts, which is basically the main discussion that was on each episode of the flagship podcast. We get it as its own video for you to enjoy. Today, we'll have dropping on the channel is Survivor Series War Games, the new Hell in a Cell PLE. Let us know in the comments. Go over and watch that over on the wrestling channel and subscribe over there. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. We'll have our NJPW World Tag League 2024 review up over there. So go over and check that out. But for Miss Krssi Love, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. Check out our Agatha All Along Season 1 review as well. That's up on the channel here. But until next time, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our The Penguin review. We are signing off until next time.